Hey there, I'm Max with the Developer Advocacy team here at Zoom. And today, if you're a Node.js developer, I have something really cool to share with you. If you take a look at my screen here, you can see I have an RTMS quick start repository open here. And what this is a super quick and easy way to get started streaming real-time data from Zoom meetings using our Node.js SDK. Today, I'd like to walk through just exactly how you can get started using this quick start, everything from setting up Zoom all the way through getting transcriptions through here, through this quick start. So there are a couple things that you'll want for our video today. The first is just to be able to create an application on the Zoom Marketplace. So if you go to marketplace.zoom.us here, you can see that I'm logged in and I can click Build App right there. And that's perfect because that's what we'll be doing today. And then the second thing you'll want to make sure you have is ngrok. And this is an application that allows us to create a secure tunnel to a local app that we're running, in this case, the quick start to Zoom with an HTTPS certificate there in the middle. So pause right now, make sure that you can access the Zoom Marketplace and create an app, and also make sure that you have an ngrok account and you have ngrok installed on your system. Awesome. So once you have ngrok, the first thing we're going to do is start up a tunnel for a service that doesn't quite exist yet. And this will all make sense in a moment. But for now, open up your favorite terminal, and you should be able to type ngrok http 8080. And this will create an HTTP tunnel to port 8080 on our system. Currently, I don't have anything running there, but we will address that in a moment. So once you hit enter, you'll notice that we have a URL here, and this is the endpoint where we're tunneling our local traffic. So keep that in mind, keep this terminal open, and we'll go ahead and move forward with the next step of this tutorial here. Like I mentioned, we'll also want this access to the marketplace. So if you missed it before, I'm logged into marketplace.zoom.us, and I can click this drop down here and then click Build App. From there, I'm just going to select General App and go ahead and create that. Great, so now that we have that all set up, we just need to configure this app to work with RTMS specifically. So I'm just going to name this RTMS Quick Start. And that's not necessary, but can definitely help you to keep everything organized. So first place we're going is to the Access tab on the left-hand side, and we're going to create an event subscription with that URL that we generated from ngrok. And what this is going to enable us to do is receive a webhook event whenever our RTMS app notices that a streaming is started or stopped. And so with that, we can just click event types and search for RTMS, and boom, we've got it right there. So we'll select those, make sure that we have those events added and that we're being notified when a stream starts. Next up right here is the notification endpoint URL, and this is actually what where our ngrok URL will go. So we can go ahead and copy that from the terminal, paste that into this field, make sure there's no spaces before or after it. Great, and that's everything that we need here. We just need a webhook with those two RTMS events added, pointed to our ngrok URL. I'll go ahead and click Save for that. And then the next thing we're going to need is scopes. So we'll set up these scopes, and you can see by adding those events, we already have the scopes for RTMS started and RTMS stopped. And we can see here a small description saying it's triggered every time a meeting host or meeting participant starts a real-time streaming action, starts or stops, depending on the event. Great, so let's add some further scopes here. Under the meeting section, there is an RTMS. There's a few RTMS options that we have here, and we can pull them all up using just by searching this RTMS tag up here. And for the purposes of this quick start, because we don't quite know what we want to build or what functions we might want to use, I'm just going to select everything here, all the data types that we might want to get from a meeting just for the purposes of testing. So maybe some audio or transcripts, which we'll probably be doing today, but there's also video, screen share, chat. There's a lot that you can do with RTMS. Great. So now we have these scopes added. We've got our app all set up. We have a client ID and client secret that we can use. So let's click down here on local test. Looks like we just need to add some basic information. And you'll notice that is the OAuth redirect URL, as well as the allow list, which will be filled in with the redirect URL. So what's interesting here, at least for our quick start, is we don't need the access token. We need to authorize the app for our account, but this redirect is used so that we can get the access token to make further API calls. And for our use case, we actually just don't need that. So what I'm going to do here is paste in the webhook URL that we're using and putting a /auth there, because as I expand this quick start, I could put an auth server at that endpoint, but currently we just don't have one and we don't need one for now. So when we go ahead and install this app, we'll get an error page once it's done, but that's okay. We just want to consent to using this all on our account. So let's go ahead and do that. Maybe this will make a little bit more sense when we step through that. So I'm going to click Add App Now. And here we have all of the standard user consent flows that you might expect from our app. Everything that we selected here is we're notified that it's going to be getting this video, audio, chat, or screen share, etc. from our meeting. And I'm good with that. So I'm going to click Allow. And then it will redirect to a page that doesn't exist for us, but that's fine because the app is installed on our account. And now there's a couple of different ways that we can start RTMS streaming. If we have a Zoom app and we're running that in the client, we could add functionality to that Zoom app to programmatically start and stop the streaming as we need it. But for our cases, instead, what I want to do is have this app automatically start for any of my meetings. So in order to do that, I can navigate to my settings by going to zoom.com. And once I'm in my web portal here, once I click settings and then Zoom apps, we can see that my RTMS Quick Start app is displayed here for apps that can access meeting content with host approval. So I'm going to click edit right here and we will enable auto start. And that way, when I start my next meeting, this app will go ahead and run automatically for us. Perfect. So that's just the setup we'll need to do for this quick start. This is really going to be applicable to a lot of apps that you'll build using RTMS. And speaking of which, let's clone this code and start using it. So I'm just going to clone this into my IDE. I'm using VS Code here. Great. And now I've got this code cloned locally. Let's take a look at some of the files that we have here. So we'll start off with our package.json. Very slim. We're just pulling in this @zoom/RTMS package, which, as you can probably guess, is the RTMS SDK that we'll be using here today. And then we have a start script. We make use of the built-in Node environment file, and we'll go ahead and create this file here in a second. And then we run our index.js file. So making use of the SDK is fairly simple. As you can see, you import it like this. Just import RTMS from @zoom/RTMS. There are a couple different usage patterns that you can use with this SDK. I think the most common is going to be this client usage pattern where you can have multiple clients at once because you probably have more than one meeting going on at any time. And the other singleton method is really just for testing purposes. So We'll go ahead and work with the client's instance right here. And we first will start off by creating a map because we want to keep track of all the clients that we create. And we're going to create a new RTMS client whenever we receive a webhook event. Now, remember, we set up that URL to forward those events locally. And so this is the code that will run when we receive those events. When we receive those events, we really want to check if we have this client already. We might be getting an RTMS stopped or an RTMS started event. And so, if we're getting an RTMS stopped event, we want to make sure that we have that client ID and that exists, and that we're gracefully leaving that meeting as intended. So that's what this logic does here. And we can really get into the core of RTMS below that. And so in order to use RTMS, you'll just want to create a new client. And then we're storing that client in our maps. And from there, we can create callbacks on that client. So there's a callback for each of the different data types that you can use here. As you can see below, we have on transcript data, on audio data. We configure some custom video parameters here, but we have on video data and on desk share data as well. So really, really powerful, just a few lines of code, and we're streaming all of this data in real time from the meeting. So let's take a look at what we need to get this running through our .env.example file. If you take a look at this, you can see there are a lot of options that we can configure, right? But the ones that are commented out, or sorry, the ones that are uncommented are the ones that we'll need to change. As we can see, just this client ID and client secret field that need to be filled. We can absolutely do that because we have, we've set up our app here. So I'll copy this client ID and I'll copy this client secret. Now, normally you wouldn't want to expose your client secret on a video like this, but I'll go ahead and regenerate the secret and delete my app after this. Oops, pardon me. Actually, what we want to do here, we want to copy this .env.example file to a .env file. A couple reasons for that. One, this is what our program's looking for. And two, we've excluded this .env file from any Git repository using that git ignore file. So you won't accidentally commit your client ID or your client secret into your repository. So almost caught myself with that one, but make sure you are copying that .env.example file to a .env. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and save that. And if you remember, the only thing we really need to do, the only command we have available in our package.json is that npm start. So let's take a look at our README and make sure we know how to use this. Let's go through the web so that it looks a little bit better. So if we look at our README, it's fairly simple. In order to set this up, we just want to run npm install, copy our .env file, add our credentials, and run npm start. So I've skipped ahead a little bit and already added our credentials in there. So let's make sure we npm install and pull down the correct dependencies. When you run npm install, it's going to fetch everything it needs, including some pre-built binaries for the RTMS C SDK, which this is built around. All right, so we've installed everything. I think now we can just go ahead with npm start. First startup here, taking a moment, but there we go. Now we can see that we are listening for webhook events at localhost 8080, which, as you know, is where we started our webhook, is where we pointed our tunnel to our webhook earlier. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. Now what we're going to do is just start a meeting. And if we start a meeting, we should be getting tons of data. We've got all these different data handlers set up. So let's go ahead and take a look at how that works. So we'll just go ahead and start a new meeting here. And once that pops open, I will enable my audio and my video. And we can see here in our app, we're receiving this audio and video, and it's a bit garbled in the middle, but somewhere there's a transcript. So let's clean up the index file that we have. So we're using just a transcript, and that'll be our first customization. Went ahead and ended that meeting and left it, and you can see here we have the logging for that right when we ended it. But I'm going to close this for now and dive back into this index.js file. And I'm just going to comment out everything except for the transcript so that we can get a better idea of what that transcript is. So now all I have, basically all the code that we need for RTMS is to create this new client and to create our on transcript data callback. Then finally, we are joining that meeting using the payload from our webhook, and it's about as easy as that. So yeah, now that we've got this changed up a little bit, we can go ahead and restart this. Great, now we can start a new meeting. And I'll just enable audio this time. And already we can see that we have some transcript data that's being output here. And we can see information from the stream that we joined. Awesome. Awesome. So this is a very powerful tool in the Zoom developer arsenal, especially when it comes to our real-time media streams. Thank you for joining me here, and please let me know if you have any questions or issues by submitting an issue with our GitHub repository for the RTMS SDK. And you can do that by navigating. This is our quick start right here. If you're running into any issues with RTMS SDK, we have a repository for that SDK. This covers a few different languages, or it will in the future here. And so best place to submit issues is through the Issues tab right here. And we'll go ahead and get back to you as soon as we can and keep making this an awesome tool for Zoom developers. Happy coding.